Hello everyone, welcome back to the one more session of management information session. In the last session we were talking about the topic called strategic planning. In the last session we have discussed about the many important concepts like short term plan, long term plan and also difference between the short term and the long term plan. We have also mentioned about the various dimensions of planning and its importance, and we have discussed about one of the important analysis concept that is called SWOT analysis, that is the strength, weakness, opportunities and threats. And we have also discussed about the strategic planning processes. How do we plan or how do we prepare a strategic planning? And the next we have gone through the essentiality of the strategic planning, means what are the essential parameters that needs to be considered before planning or before framing a plan, that is a strategic plan. And also we have discussed the final point, that is development of business strategy. So these were the topics that we have already discussed in the previous session. Now let us look into the one more concept, that is the types of strategies. So when we know completely what are the different types of strategies, planning and all this process, let us look into the various types. When we talk about the strategic planning, it means a specific decision to be made, but not always it is a decision. It might be a process also to be followed in an organization in order to achieve the organization's objectives. We have categorized into two kinds of strategies. One is the right strategy, and the second is the wrong strategy. When we tell about strategy or talk about a strategy, it is a plan. Both the things are a plan. If a strategy works for the intention for what it was planned, then we call it as a right strategy. Means if the strategy, outcome of the strategy is achieved in order to achieve the objectives of the organization, then we call it as a right strategy. If the strategy fails to achieve the organization goals, then we call it as a wrong strategy. Though they are both are the strategies, but one is a right strategy and the other is a wrong strategy. Next, what happens if a wrong strategy works out? Means if we encounter with a wrong strategy, again we need to reframe the strategy again from the beginning and again restart with a new implementation. In that case, it is a very high cost with respect to the organization. When we concentrate our strategy with respect to a single point of attack, means when we are just pointing with respect to one characteristics or one point of attack, then we call it as a pure strategy. We call those kind of things as a pure, P-U-R-E, pure strategy. Means next is a mixed strategy. What is that mixed strategy? When we are not concentrating our strategy, a plan with respect to one point, we are concentrating on multiple aspects of organization combined together and we are taking the plan execution as an overall, then we consider it as a mixed kind of strategy. So one is a right strategy, other is a wrong strategy. When we concentrate on one aspect of attack, we call it as a pure strategy. When we concentrate on overall aspects of an organization in upholding the objectives, then we call it as a mixed kind of strategy. Next, this strategy, the type can also be classified with respect to few points. The first point is overall strategy. Overall, what is strategy? Overall company strategy. Here, what is the main concept? Here we are not focusing ourselves with respect to one aspect. We are looking as a company as a whole. We are looking into various aspects of the company. It might be a finance, production, manufacturing or various other things. Even it involves the human factors. So all these together constitutes a overall. So when we are planning to uplift the overall components of all the organization as a whole and uplifting it, we call that kind of strategy as overall company strategy. Second one is a growth strategy. So what are we doing up? Here in the growth strategy, we are mainly focusing on the growth of our organization. When we talk about a growth, it might be financial upliftment, financial profit making, or it might be producing new products, or finally it might be a one more establishment of a new component or new establishment of new organization, the part or a sister concerned organization in. Why do we do this? Means we are achieving the growth with respect to an organization. This kind of strategy is said to be the growth, this is very much essential with respect to the organization. Next we look into the third component called the product strategy. So when we talk about a product, it is a particular entity or a characteristics. We are mainly focused on the characteristics of a product, not that all the products would achieve the success. We need to look into the various aspects or the characteristics of product and look into that aspect and frame a strategy so that products would achieve us a great success with respect to the financial status and also the positional status of our organization. We are concentrating on particular product here. So if you make a strategical plan to achieve this, we call this as a product strategy. Next is a marketing strategy. So if we manufacture very good things and if you have a very good strategy, we do not achieve success. The product what we have manufactured has to reach the end user. How to make an end user be aware of this kind of product? It is nothing but the marketing. The marketing plays a major role. When we call about marketing, it might be a mouth to mouth, over a media or various other modes of marketing. So marketing plays a major role for achieving the success. Whatever the product that we have manufactured or been developed in organization, only with respect to proper and the right marketing, we can deliver it to the end users and the organization can make a profit and achieve the goal. These are the four major types of strategy that needs to be considered. Next is a tools for planning these things. So let us look into the various tools that needs to be done for planning. The first one is creativity. So let us look into the first one, creativity. So what is the tools? These tools are the various means to achieve the strategies, means how to involve these components of tool in order to make a strategy executable with respect to the right kind of strategy. The first one called creativity. Creativity is the major concept where new plans can be executed only by the experienced person, or a person who has a lot of experience in the particular field will be able to make a decision. How does he make a decision? Because he has quite a sufficient amount of information of that system. He has studied already about the previous and he knows present, so that he can predict the future. So all this knowledge helps him to create a new kind of strategy to attack the problem and find the solution. So that is called the creativity. Creativity is not an initial thing that can be done by everyone. It is an intelligence that needs to be incorporated to have a creativity. Second one is system approach. When we talk about the system, always there is a saying, when you look at the problem, don't run out or run away from the problem. Go into the system, dwell into the problem, come out of the problem. Means we need to involve ourselves into the problem so that we can attack the problem and solve the problem. In the same way, system or approach planning considered to be the various factors that needs to be considered, like interrelationship within the various organization, interrelation with respect to various products and everything. Now what happens here? Approach the system from the minute component. So look into the system thoroughly and then prepare the plan for the system. Here we are not concentrating on a particular thing, we are concentrating the whole system, how it is working, what is gone wrong, where the things are going wrong. So look into all the parameters which are irrelevant, remove it, relevant, keep it. So finally approach the plan with respect to the overall system. This is called system approach. The third one is the sensitivity analysis. We know what is analysis. Why is analysis important? We have studied the importance of an analysis in the SWOT, that is SWOT analysis. So when you talk about the sensitivity analysis, the main sensitivity deals with financial crisis. So if a financial crisis goes up and down, the company starts trembling on its foot. So this is one of the key parts. When you call about sensitivity, we need to look into those small or minute particles or the parameters that can shake the company. Means the first component that needs to be done here or understood is what if. What if is the sensitivity. What if product not sold? What if the companies go down? What if environmental effects causes the production? What if companies is not in the market line? What if technology failure? What if human resource not supported? What if products go in vain? So these kind of questions are the sensitivity matters. So a plan or a strategy has to be planned to answer all kind of what ifs. What ifs are different kind of thing that can be assessed or predicted with respect to future. And finally, the fourth kind of tool is a model. When we talk about the model, it is not that a physical construction and look into the three-dimensional aspects. Here, we need to presume or a perspective of a vision to be considered how the company. So after 4 years, how would be this? After 5 years, where would be the situation of the company? What would the problems that might be encountered? All these things need to be ascertained in the primary cause itself. So these are the 4 types of tools that need to be assessed with respect to the planning. Next, the next concept was called a balance scorecard. The best example, before talking to the balance scorecard, we can look into the scorecard, but most of you are aware with the cricket scorecard. When a team, both the teams are playing, most of the time the quarrel arises or the conflict arises because they say, someone says already it is 20 runs and someone says no, it is 21 run, and someone says it is 4th over 5th ball and someone says no, it is only 4th over 3rd ball. Why is this happening? Because lack of noting down the information. So what they do, both the teams have their own scorecards. What happened at the ball 1? What is the amount of runs scored at a 1 ball? So that they can keep track of each and every instances with respect to time, with respect to various activity that is happening. So they can track all the process. If there is any mismatch, they can immediately identify where the problem is encountered so that rectify themselves. So similar kind of concept was discovered and also proposed by Dr. Robert Kalpan and Dr. Dev Norton way back in 90s itself. And they said all the process of the organization should be monitored and documented in a card called it a scorecard. They call it as balance scorecard. Why did they call it as a balance scorecard? Is with the scorecard they are able to assess, analyze each and everything so that they can balance the state of the growth of the organization. Whether it's going down, immediately lift the things because they can analyze it, where what is the things that is making a wrong. So if there is something called upliftment, encourage those aspects so that the things can move up. So these are the things that have been achieved with the balance scorecard. Then these professors also highlighted 4 points that needs to be concentrated with respect to the organization in order to do the balance scorecard. What are the first thing? Always concentrate on the financial aspects. So what is the amount of input that has been taken, means funds that has come into the organization. What is the amount of financial status that is deployed for the organization, and what is the profit gained from this. Always make a track record of all these things. Second one is the process. How much amount of process is happening day-to-day basis over a period of time, and it might be with respect to different intervals of time. Assess it, compare with the previous, whether the production of the process is increasing or whether there is a lagging or a declining of a process. So analyze this with a scorecard, and also look into the people. So people are said to be the intended activity carriers of an organization, because their mindset, their activity is directly proportional to the growth of organization. If a people are with a very good mindset and they have an affinity towards the organization, they have the tendency to work hard. Without the intervention of a supervisor, they take the growth of an organization to a different level. So monitor the people. If the people are exhaustive, if people are not comfortable, track that and look into the parameters. Why are they not interested? What is causing the problem? And also, if there is a lot of people coming out of the organization, please note that. What is the problem? There might be a problem with the system itself. Identify those things, because we are losing the experienced professional with respect to the various process. Bringing a new person might be easy, but adjusting that person to the new system causes a lag or a barrier with the existing flow. And finally, look into the customers. Target the customer. Who are our customers? What is their customer preferences? What are the customers looking into the things? If there is any deviation with respect to our customers who are buying our products and switch to other things, contact them, take a feedback and assess them. So with these properties, if a balanced scorecard is achieved, the company might reach into a very great success with respect to the achieving of an objectives. So these were the topics that I wanted to discuss with respect to module 1. By this end of this session, I would also like to conclude that we have come to the end of the module 1. Thank you.